Here is a poem called Dark Side. I was the DJ at my brother's 21st. Reluctant too. I had wanted to be at a Red Hot Chili Peppers gig instead. And I say DJ, I was charged with making sure the CDs went onto the stereo. It was the early 1990s. Guns N' Roses was the theme for the night. Pretty much. But my uncle turned up, and after handing over his gift and saying hi to the family, he came up to me and said, "I got a tape I'd like to play." And I heard it in the voice David Byrne uses at the start of that classic concert film, right before launching into the acoustic psycho killer. Anyway, this tape was not Talking Heads. It was Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And as he finished saying he had a tape he liked to play, he lifted it up from his shirt top pocket, a finger either side, a very delicate slide. He loved that tape. We never played it that night. We didn't have a cassette deck. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that it wouldn't work with that crowd. I mean, one guy had eaten his own vomit on camera, another had pulled his pants down to flash his ass, and a third guy had walked along and jammed his finger in the hole right at the right or very wrong moment. So, Anyway, it was, I guess, a good party. My brother passed out in bed well before midnight, had to be revived to have happy birthday yelled in his general direction. At 21, that's got to be some sort of success. Many years later, the millennium was the thing, and after filling our cars with gas and unplugging the computers, we let our hair down. Mambo number 5 was the big song of the night. I'd have preferred Guns N' Roses, actually. I was trying to sneak some Curtis Mayfield on the stereo, as he had died just days before. He meant a lot to me, but no one else in the family seemed to give a fuck. My uncle turned up, different shirt, same sort of top pocket, same tape too. This time, he was quieter, less hopeful. He simply slid it up to show off the first inch of the cover and said, "Maybe later, if we're all still up." The night would go on for hours and hours. Some guy tried to pash a girl and she didn't like it, so she bit his tongue. My mate took me around the back of the party shed to tell me I needed to ring the cops in the morning and it wasn't looking good. There was bad news back in Wellington. Plus, there was terrible music on the stereo. I not only had a little bit of trouble coming into my life, there was also a little bit of Monica, a little bit of Erica, Rita, Tina, Sandra, Mary and Jessica. We drank foul concoctions and couldn't get drunk. It was the wee small hours and makeshift beds were being hunted. Numbers were dwindling. And then it dawned on us. We needed to be in the driveway looking up at the peak. The sun starting to peek up over that mighty hill. Those left holding drinks but never drinking. And there was silence in the stereo. I ran inside and began the rummage. No tape deck. So I found a copy of Dark Side of the Moon on CD. Hey, every home should have one. And as the deck chairs mingled, you could hear screams from the stereo and then breathe in the air. My uncle looked over at me, his eyes closed. He was beaming. Suddenly, he was drinking again. Big gulps of this music going down and all around in him. I didn't quite understand the significance of listening to The Dark Side of the Moon as the sun came up on the first day of the year 2000. But I was happy to be the facilitator, I guess. But then I started hearing those words in a surprising new context. Look around, choose your own ground, for long you live and high you fly, and smiles you'll give and tears you'll cry. We're in the driveway as 5 a.m. came and went, and the long night behind it was just one more, and the power was still on. So that was a clue that the computers would tick over, and nothing had exploded, and many of us were still breathing. Breathe in the air. A new year was on us, and in just a few days I would be arrested for receiving stolen goods. But in this moment we were alive and well, and our watches had not stopped, and time was ticking, and the clocks on the Dark Side album were the signifier there, and it meant a lot to my uncle to be sat with a vodka and orange in an oversized wine glass listening to The Dark Side of the Moon as the sun came up. And he meant a lot to me, so that's why it went down that way. And all you create, and all you destroy, and all that you do, and all that you say, and all that you eat, and everyone you meet, and all that you slight, and everyone you fight, and all that is now, and all that is gone, and all that's to come, and everything under the sun is in tune. But the sun is eclipsed by the moon.